Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Hardcore Challenge Live. I am the Commish. This is the official webcast of the Hardcore Challenge, the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. Thank you for joining me again. Tonight is our Week 7 Game of the Week edition. That means we will be sorting through all of the matchups, Week 7, deciding upon one, and we will unveil it, break it down, and select a winner. Last week's Game of the Week, I was correct again. Only been wrong once this season. Currently 5-1 in Game of the Week selections. Of course, we all know who the one is. Unfortunately, it's Corey. He just, every time I go with Corey, he disappoints me horribly. That's just Corey. Never vote Packers fans. Packers fans. So, looking across both of the conferences, there's really only two games, honestly, that stand out as games that could possibly even be a game of the week. When you're looking at the AFC, there's really only one matchup, and that's the 4-2 Knox Vegas Anarchy facing off against the 4-2 Stone Ponies. Both new owners. Neither one are currently sitting. Knox Vegas Anarchy's 2 games out of first, sitting in second place. Stone Ponies is currently in second place as they're tied at 4-2 with Bison Broncos, but their fantasy points has them sitting in second. So that's 2 second place teams facing off against each other. It's not a sexy, exciting game of the week. It's just not. So let's head and take a look at the NFC. See what we got shaking over here. Now in the NFC, you've got your number one dog in the NFC facing off against I Am Groot, who's 3-3. That's also not a stellar matchup. So I had to look across, and I see the second team in the league in scoring, Skull Crushers, sitting at 4-2 in first place. They were the number 1 in the power rankings before dropping 1 spot to number 2. Now, sorry, technical difficulties there. My apologies. So, as I was saying, that's what happens when you're flying live. Looking across there, I see the Knoxville Assassins, who before last week dropped 1 game. Coming into this week, dropped down to 4-2. A big win by Pack Attack is back, brought them up to 4-2. So currently Knoxville Assassins sitting technically in second, but tied for first record-wise in the Elite East. So that is the game we have selected for this week's Game of the Week. It takes place in the NFC as the leader, Skull Crushers of the Great White North, led by Gary, face off against former champ Knoxville Assassins, led by Brad, formerly Oski Assassins. Now, Oski Assassins in the history and lore of the Hardcore Challenge is basically our second greatest owner. They have 5 playoff appearances, 3 division titles, 3 Super Bowl appearances, and hoisted the championship in 2011. So, they are one of our OG owners. Now, Gary has been in the league, owner of Skull Crushers, since 2013, although he has never made the playoffs. He was relegated to the Great White North with the rest of the Canadian owners in the original setup, and he obviously had to face off against Tom owner of I'm Thinking Arby's, who dominated that division and won that division crown and has won every single division crown that he has played in. Nobody has bumped Tom off, and he currently is 6-0 and holding a 2-game lead in this year's division. He has won every division he's played in since 2010. 7 straight division crowns. Excuse me. He did not win the division in 2010, but he made the playoffs. 6 straight division crowns. So he has made the playoffs every time. 6 straight division crowns. 3 Super Bowl appearances. 2 Super Bowl titles. Has led the league in scoring 3 times. So let's take a look at Skull Crushers against Knoxville Assassins, which is our game of the week. NFL.com has it picked as a very, very tight game, as you have Skull Crushers with Russell Wilson coming against Knoxville Assassins with Dak Prescott at the quarterback position. Both are on the road. Russell Wilson is at New York playing the Giants. Dak Prescott is at San Francisco playing the Niners. Both are on the road. Both should have fairly easy opponents. I'm going to call it a wash. I think both quarterbacks could have a very good game. I think it's going to come down to which quarterback has a better game in these two capacities. Now, at the running back position, I give a big lean to Kareem Hunt and Le'Veon Bell for Knoxville Assassins against Duke Johnson and Ezekiel Elliott, who's fighting his way out of suspension. I would assume Wallace would not be. You've got some better opportunities down there. So looking at that, I give a strong lean in the running back category to Knoxville Assassins. Although you've got Zeke, looks like he's going to play this week, and at San Francisco, that's a possibility of putting up some serious points. So Tennessee, Cleveland's playing Tennessee, so I don't know about Johnson. He's at home. I still, with Le'Veon Bell and Hunt, that's a hell of a 1-2 punch, the running back combination. And I think that's going to be tough. Now, when you're looking at the wide receivers, you've got Knoxville Assassins coming in with Dez Bryant and Lewis, wide receiver for the Giants. And against, I'm not sure who Skull Crusher is going to run as a first wide receiver position. He's got Amari Cooper in there. Listen, I've been riding with Amari Cooper too. So I'm feeling your pain on that one. He just hasn't produced. And you're looking a little light in the wide receiver category this week as well. Your points have come down since that juggernaut score that you had that pushed you high up into the scores. So I feel you're a little undermanned between the two. But I think his weakness is Lewis, the wide receiver at the Giants. And I kind of call your wide receivers a wash. I think possibility that Dez Bryant has a big game, but I think his other wide receivers not. So it's kind of hard to gauge the wide receivers. We'll come back to that. Moving on to tight ends. Zach Ertz for Skull Crushers, I think, is a big lean over Hooper, the tight end for Atlanta, for the Assassins. Big advantage there for Gary. Ertz has, Wentz loves Ertz, and he feeds him the rock, and he feeds it to him often. Tight end is what Gary currently has in the flex position. Choker's tight end, Henry, against Martavius Bryant, wide receiver for Pittsburgh. I give a slight lean in this category to the Knoxville Assassins. I believe Martavius Bryant is going to start getting worked in a little more, and he has a possibility to have a breakout game against Cincinnati at home. The Jags defense at Indianapolis has the possibilities to get Gary some points and the Skull Crushers and some turnovers. The Colts are not going to have Andrew Luck. They've shut him down from throwing again already, and it's probably going to be Brissett again. Now you've got the Chiefs defense at Oakland for the Knoxville Assassins. Of course, I'm probably biased on this one, but I think it's going to be a typical AFC West divisional game between the Chiefs and the Raiders. It's going to be a lot of points scored, and I don't know if that's the kind of defense you want to go rolling in with, unless you're counting on turnovers, which is a distinct possibility. Now, when you're looking at your individual defensive players, this is where I give a nice lean with Campbell for the Jags, Smith, the linebacker for the Jags, Smith, D-back for the Vikings, and Mosley, linebacker for the Ravens for Skull Crushers. I think his individual defensive squad, facing off against Gerald McCoy for the Bucks, who has not been a statistical juggernaut. Luke Kuechly, linebacker for the Panthers, has a possibility to be the guy. Now, McCourty had a big game last week, but that's not going to happen every week. It's just not. And Lee, linebacker for Dallas at his flex. So, looking over all of it as a whole, and just history-wise with these two owners, I think this was going to be very, very close. I think the score, it's not going to be the type of game in the week where the score is up there and you're seeing a lot of big points. I don't think it's going to be that type of game of the week. I think it's going to be a very close game of the week. One that creeps down possibly into Monday night when we're looking at Zach Ertz as the only guy left to play. Gary puts it out there. He has never lost a game of the week. So, will this be it? I'm 5-1 currently, so I want to pick this one right. You know, if the only one I got wrong is Corey all season, I can just blame that on Corey for sucking. So, this one, I'm torn on this one. I really want to go because I think the numbers point towards the Knoxville Assassins. But something just tells me, I just got a gut feeling that I think Gary's going to pull this one out. I think Gary's going to pull this one out. I see Corey winning this week, and Brad drops off, and I see two clear division leaders coming out of this one game. I'm picking the Skull Crushers to take down the Knoxville Assassins and move on to 5-2, drop the Knoxville Assassins to 4-3 in this week's game of the week. That's my call. I'll put the poll up to see if you feel the same way. So I'm going with Gary and the Skull Crushers in the NFC as leaders of the Great White North and the Elite East face off. So we will see. We will see how it works out this week. So we got some interesting games. There's some very good matchups. And there's some people desperate for a win, and I am one of them. So, I encourage some healthy smack talk on the group page. I know Gary's up for it. Hope Brad's up for it as well. So, have at it. You guys are game of the week. We look forward to some fireworks this week. And good luck to you both. Good luck to everybody. It's time for week 7. Are you ready for the challenge? Good luck. Game on.